wasn't uncommon for me to be passed out on the floor or passed out in my vehicle in the driveway. And one day I was sitting in that little flop house and I was in this chair. There was nobody else in that house, which is unusual. There wasn't no music playing. That was unusual. No TV. Nobody expected in. I wasn't expected to go anywhere. I was just sitting there in the quiet, absolutely out of the ordinary. And all of a sudden I began to sense that I wasn't alone in that room. And I grew up in a Christian home, remember, and I knew the difference between the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness, and I certainly knew who I had been serving. And at that point, I was stoned all the time. I was rigging up 2 or 3 times a day. I lost my job, no vehicle, no nothing. And I sat there and I began to feel this presence in the room. And at first, it kind of scared me. I thought, man, this is the enemy. This is it. You've finally gone too far, Don. And I was kind of trying to ignore what was going on. And I didn't get up and run. I didn't do anything, but this sense of a presence just kept getting stronger and stronger. And as it did, I began to discern that it wasn't something evil. It wasn't something ugly or dangerous. I sensed that actually I was kind of feeling these waves of love and acceptance and forgiveness. And I immediately felt this rush of relief because I just knew that this had to be God coming into this room. And so I was relieved. At the same time, I almost instantly, I got angry at him and I began to scream at him and I cursed at him. I was saying, what in the blank are you doing here in this place? You've already taken my wife, you've taken my kids. I don't have a job anymore. I don't have a car. I don't have my health anymore. I got nothing. Why are you here? Get the blank away from me. I'm screaming this stuff towards God. And I fully expected him to just descend and walk away from me, but he didn't. I mean, that sensation was getting stronger and stronger and more powerful. And I was just feeling love and acceptance and forgiveness. That's the only thing I can describe it as. And before long, I wasn't screaming and ranting and railing. My hands were falling down by the side of my chair. And I was looking up and I was crying to him. And I'm saying, God, what do you want with me? Why are you here? And then the next thing I knew, I was on my knees. And I'm saying, God, is there anything you can do to help me? And then I fell on my face. And I remember it was about the noon hour at that point, because I looked at the clock right over there above a window. And I mean, the presence of God was so heavy in that place, Jason. And I just began to cry out to him. And I was saying, God, you've got to help me. You've got to save me. I'm going to die just like this. I know I am unless you do something. And from that point, about noon, until the presence of God receded enough until I could actually lift my head and look again, it was 7 o'clock that night. And I'm sure to this moment, I was literally in the presence of God himself for 7 hours. And when I raised my head and eventually got to my hands and knees, I felt like I had lost 50 pounds and my heart was free. My heart was light. I had joy. I didn't have the sense of fear and foreboding and all that kind of stuff.
So let me ask you this. So that's, I have a very similar story. I had an encounter like that. So, but what I hear you saying is that in your worst moment, in the worst, where you were as far gone as you could consider anybody going, perfect love and acceptance showed up in your life and didn't leave.
Absolutely. Refused to leave.
That might mess with some people's theology, man, that say you got to clean yourself up before you come,
Yeah. I've been in some fellowships like that. It's not very welcoming to a person like you.
So did you even ask? Was it even, I mean, I heard you say, but did you cry out or did God just showed up, right? Is that what you're saying?
He just showed up. He just showed up. I mean, I wasn't
uninvited,
looking for.